My so-called life is sponsored by How's it going? I'm Godless Sewing and this is the Godless Sewing channel. So today I'm going to be talking about how I upcycled an old aerospace coat and I bought a fez. I am over the moon excited about how I bought a fez that used to be part of the Shriners. It actually came from someone who was a Shriner. I bought it at a thrift store, and quite honestly, I don't even know if I'm supposed to have it. But in my true blasphemous nature, I'm gonna dance around like a crazy person and have the time of my life doing it. And of course, this is my 1939 Singer sewing machine. Not to be confused with the one that I bought last week that is a 1938 Singer sewing machine. So, this week, when I wandered into Rooster's Relics, I kind of saw this under the cabinet. It was disheveled. It was shivering under a freeway overpass. So I figured, I'd give it a good home. But the one thing I noticed when I started cleaning it up was that the parts were refurbished. Again, this motor is probably from the 60s. The belt is something that I can order right now online, which I'm probably gonna have to. And I could see that some of the parts have been mismatched, and that's the beautiful thing about Singer sewing machines, is that the older machines were interchangeable. So you could take a machine from the 30s and put parts from the 50s on it, or vice versa. And that's the beautiful thing about these older sewing machines, is that they last forever. It's like a parrot. It will outlive you. So, the reason I'm sitting here is because usually these things are clackers and it takes a minute to get it going. But this one was actually in working condition. So now I'm gonna shine it up, find the cover plate for it, and it's ready to go. So before I get to the part of having the time of my life with the fez and pretending to be Matt Smith, let's be real for a second. The Shriners are members, not reading, of the ancient Arabic order of nobles of the mystic shrine. For me, it's the guys that drive tiny cars in a Hollywood parade, but you know what? I'm no one to judge. When I saw this fez today, I was kind of drawn towards it. I thought it was cool. It had the fancy box. It came with the gloves, and it also, on the top here, you can see that it comes from San Francisco, California. And it has an old sticker from a Shriners football game, which have been going on as long as I can remember. This particular hat is from 1972. So, I kind of have to use the kit gloves, but again, I've been having the time of my life looking like an Austin Powers villain. This hat was so well made that you can tell it was handcrafted and somebody put a lot of love into it. It comes from San Francisco. The tassel is hitched to the side, which actually makes it a lot more manageable. Each piece was put on by hand, and I can tell that they hand stitched around every single letter. This hat is a work of art, really. This is my 1970s Singer Stylus sewing machine. It's a 513, I believe. I just got this thing, so I am beyond myself and completely stoked to add this to my collection. One of the reasons I got this machine is that this particular Singer Stylus came with the table. A lot of the time, I'll find these things completely smashed in the back alley of a thrift store somewhere. But when I saw the table, I instantly knew it was Singer, because Singer only had a few designs on their tables in the 1970s. So when I opened it up, I was beyond shocked to find out that this thing is actually in decent condition. I'm gonna take it home, do the normal thing, put some berry white on, see how it goes. But once again, I completely scored. So I rushed home, I plugged this thing in, and I didn't check the timing. The timing's off and it can be easily fixed on this machine. But in true godless sewing fashion, my motto is, why buy one when you can have two? This is my 1970s Singer Touch and Sew sewing machine. For those who know, I absolutely love these machines. The commercial is amazing. The automatic bobbin winder is kind of a mess, but this is an earlier model. I went to the thrift store recently with my son, and when we went to the counter, I made the mistake of looking over the shoulder of the person helping me, and I saw the box. The second I saw Touch and Sew, I knew that this was gonna be in a semi-decent condition because the box was intact and it came with all the original parts. So I was like, how much is that puppy in the window? But like I always say, talk is cheap, let's check it out. The beautiful thing about these machines is that they are solid metal. So, let's see what happens. Oh, look at that. Forgot my scissors, of course. And so, for a machine from the 1970s that I barely oiled, it threw down a perfect stitch. I'll show you the back. So with a little love and care, these machines will keep going on and on. As always, stay creative and keep sewing.
Get the most fun out of life, out of being a mother and wife, with new fashion excitement that's all created by you. On your new Touch and Sew
Sewing machine by Singer.
Touch and Sew.
Another first from Singer.
Be the girl with the golden touch on your new Singer Golden Touch and Sew machine. Dozens of exclusive features, like this new built-in needle threader for the golden slant needle, and the push-button bobbin that winds right in the machine. What a wonderful new feeling. You can do all three kinds of sewing: straight, zigzag, and chain stitch.
Touch and Sew, the push-button bobbin way.
Come sew on one at your Singer Center. Choose from 5 Touch and Sew models from $149.95.
What's new for tomorrow
Is at Singer today.
So upcycling is an absolute love of mine. I had this old aerospace coat and I thought it was time for an upgrade. I added quite a few patches to it. But the one thing that I love about upcycling is that you can make it personal. So I added an old friend of mine. Oh man, I love this coat. I can't wait to wear this in public. So before I forget, Singer sewing machines are made all around the world. This particular machine was made in Canada, and although it didn't work, it passive-aggressively apologized and promised to work in the future. Not to be outdone with an upcycled coat, a fez goes well with.
Constantinople, now it's Istanbul, now Constantinople, been a long time gone. Constantinople, now it's Turkish delight on a moonlit night. Every gal in Constantinople lives in Istanbul.
So today, like most days around here in the House of Sewing, was a complete adventure. And if you've made it this far, I thank you. So as always, reinforce your seams, be yourself, and I will definitely see you next time.
Clap your hands, everybody, if you got what it takes. Cause I'm Curtis Blow, and I want you to know that these are the breaks.